and welcome to Living Title IX with Betsy. That's me. This week we are continuing our series on smooth transitions. We had a little bit of a break to talk about some orientation stuff that I wanted to make sure we got out there before the summer got too far along, but smooth transitions. Last time we kind of talked about smooth transitions from that report to the Title IX coordinator, the report to the team member, the report to the employee, and how we smoothly transitioned to the Title IX coordinator. So today, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about that smooth transition from the intake or the triage onto the investigation or the informal resolution, whichever type of resolution this individual or individuals are looking for. So let's talk through that a little bit. First and foremost, that smooth transition has already started because we've made great contact and explained to students that, or employees, that we had to tell the Title IX coordinator what was going on. Title IX coordinator now knows. And so they're reaching out and having that initial meeting with the complainant and their guardian if they are a student. And so if they're a K-12 student, and higher ed just with that student. And we are having that really important conversation with them of, hey, support, right? That's something we talk about all the time on Living Title IX is support is the most important thing. So we're talking about that and the purpose behind the Title IX office getting involved in this particular matter. So being really transparent and explaining that support is our first goal, and then we are going to help them understand what the next options are. So we're going to start, in my opinion, with a flow chart because we love flow charts. So we're showing them that flow chart of, hey, here's what our process actually looks like if we are going through this Title IX world. So if you would like to issue or initiate a formal complaint, this is what that would look like. And we're going to walk them step by step through each phase, the time periods, the length, and honestly, we're going to be transparent about how hard it is because it's not necessarily an easy process to go through. So we want to make sure that they understand what they might be diving into. So we're going to pull out our policy. We're going to explain what that is. We're going to tell them where to find it. We've probably already sent an email about that, but we're also going to explain it in our meeting face-to-face. The next thing we're going to do is that flow chart, as I just talked about, or maybe those two things are going hand in hand. And we're going to be really transparent, as we talked about earlier in an episode, about whether we're going to have to initiate that formal complaint ourselves. So those are really kind of the high-level pieces that we want to talk through in that first meeting. And then we're saying, if you initiate a formal complaint, these are who the investigators might be, or this is our investigator. And we're kind of talking up that team as well, because we should have rock stars doing that work. So we want to talk about, hey, this person's really awesome. They're trained in being trauma-informed or empathy-driven response or investigations, however you want to talk about it, but really giving them faith or trust in the process. So we're going to have those conversations with them, let them know, I'm not just going to hand you off and I'll never see you again as the Title IX coordinator. I'm still going to be involved providing support, or this other individual is going to be providing support. And then we also have an investigator. And Title IX coordinator, if you're the one who's doing an investigation, we got to set some clear parameters there for them about that, an understanding of, hey, I am the Title IX coordinator, I am providing you support, but also I'm going to be doing an investigation, and this is what that would look like. This is kind of what the setup for those meetings would be versus the conversations that we're having simply around support. So we want to make sure that we're smoothly explaining what those next steps are going to be and setting up our investigators for success with a great handoff. After we have the conversation and the individual decides, hey, I don't want anything else besides supportive measures, and you feel comfortable providing supportive measures only, you're going to go ahead and put those in place and move on. But if you are moving forward with an investigation, you're going to make sure that you are handing off all of the information that you have, all the things that your investigator might need to know on the front end so that when they're starting that meeting with an individual, that they have enough information that they're not going in blind, and that they have an understanding of what might be coming, or also what struggles that individual might be having in those types of meetings and those types of investigative meetings moving forward. All right, and then if you are moving towards informal resolution, hopefully we've talked about that when we talked through our process and our flow charts, and they really want for there to be an informal resolution, you're going to have a conversation about how that has to be an agreement between both the complainant and the respondent, and also between the coordinator too. So coordinator has to agree that that would be a good option for this specific case. So explaining that, and if you are going to try to use that informal process, make sure that you're not promising things that you can't provide. So you can't say, I guarantee we're going to go through the informal process, because again, you have to talk to the respondent first. So, and still initiate that formal complaint and those notice of allegations and all of those things. So making sure that you're clear as can be. You've heard a lot of transparency and clear in my conversation today. That's because the best smooth transition into investigation or informal resolution is a transparent one with some positive vibes or positive setting of the tone for that investigator or that informal resolution facilitator when that handoff happens. So let them know who they're going to be hearing from next, what that investigator's name might be, what that informal resolution facilitator's name might be, those types of things, so that they're prepared, and give them a timeline for when that should happen and make sure that that happens. Again, smooth transition happens because we are setting the expectations and then we are following those expectations that we have set. So I hope that's helpful. We are going to continue this with 2 more parts in this smooth transition series, but I want you to be continuously thinking about how your district or your institution is making those warm handoffs instead of just a cold email to say, here's what's happening next, right? We want to have the conversation, and then we want to follow it up with an email, and we want to make sure that we are meeting the expectations that we are setting. So we will talk next week about session 3 of this series, and I can't wait to see you there. But before that, let's discuss some mugshots. We are going to show our amazing mugshot member for this week, and we are going to hopefully highlight you in the future. So comment mugshot on any of the platforms, and do me a huge favor, like big giant ask today. Could you please and maybe even drop a comment on this video on the YouTube site, also on anywhere else that you're finding this, whether it's LinkedIn or Instagram or Facebook, etc. Just help us out with that so that we can share this with more of your colleagues. And if you comment mugshot, we'll get you one of these, and then you can be a member of our awesome mugshot club as well. And to wrap up, finally, don't forget to laugh at yourself. This work is hard. Support each other, support your teammates over the summer, support their relaxation, support them, and then celebrate the small victories. Small victory for us, our training calendar is up and rolling for you all for the late summer and fall. So go on to icslawyer.com, click on trainings, and find out which training we're going to see you at, or you're going to sign up for to see us in this late summer, early fall. So can't wait to see you there. Have an awesome week. Bye.